कुमार स्वामी नायक है गोंगो लिबू लटोका रेडियो फीजी 2 में पुराना गाना लगे हमें बहुत अच्छा लगे
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की
In the news tonight, concerns raised against proposed police bill. China donates SINOVAC vaccine. And former senior executive sexual assault trial continues.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Atera Lendua.
Good evening, Fiji. Prime Minister Borrenge Bainimarama says the proposed police bill in its current form will not go to Parliament. The Prime Minister met with senior police officers today to discuss the bill. Certain sections of the draft police bill has received widespread criticism. This includes confiscation of electronic items, including mobile phones, without warrants and taking hold of property for their use. There has also been criticism on the personation and representation of police vehicles. We now join Lena Rees live. Lena, I understand you tried to get more information regarding the bill. What have you been able to gather so far?
A Security Council meeting convened today at the Prime Minister's office, and we managed to get a few comments from the acting Commissioner of Police, Rusiate Tunravu. When we asked him about his comments regarding the proposed police bill, he mentioned that the Prime Minister would be the only person giving any comments regarding this. Now, when we did approach the Prime Minister later in the day, he also mentioned that he would be releasing a press statement later on, and we all hope that it will really clarify or make clear to the people what this bill is about, how it came about, how it was drafted, and so forth, considering that a lot of people are voicing their concerns via social media and even at the face-to-face consultations regarding the bill that started on Monday in Levuka. Today it continued in Lomaiviti, and tomorrow the face-to-face consultations regarding the proposed police bill will be held in Navua at the Serua Provincial Council Hall. It will be held from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. and then it will continue throughout the week. On Thursday it will be in Nandi, and on Friday it will be in Singotoka. So people are encouraged to go down and voice their concerns if they have any regarding the police bill 2020 Atyava.
Thank you, Lena. The Chinese government has confirmed that they will be donating doses of their COVID-19 SINOVAC vaccine to Fiji. SINOVAC vaccine is produced in Beijing, China. The Chinese ambassador to Fiji, Gyanbo, says he has been liaising with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Prime Minister's office and the Health Ministry in terms of their readiness to assist with the SINOVAC vaccine. Kritika Kumar reports.
The Chinese government has confirmed that their vaccines are ready and is awaiting approval from the Fijian government.
Our vaccines are already ready in the Chinese in China and in the warehouse of China and in the Chinese relevant companies' warehouse, and they are ready to be delivered to Fiji to help the Fijian friends.
The ambassador says China has produced 4 vaccines, of which 2 will soon get the certification from the World Health Organization. Bo says many leaders from outside China have received the SINOVAC vaccination, and there have been very few cases of abnormal reactions.
Of course, according to the usual traditional way, that it should take longer because it's a very serious issue. But Chinese vaccines have been tested not only in China, but also many other countries.
Permanent Secretary for Health, Dr. James Fong, says they are aware of the donation. However, they are waiting for SINOVAC to be WHO approved.
I do know that the WHO is currently in the process of assessing SINOVAC.
China has so far donated its vaccines to more than 69 countries in the world. Kritika Kumar, FBC News.
We're now joining Kritika live. Kritika, regarding this vaccine, what else can you tell us about the arrangement?
Atida, the Health Ministry's Permanent Secretary, Dr. James Fong, has confirmed that the Chinese embassy had contacted them and has assured its support for Fiji in terms of the COVID-19 vaccine. The ministry intends to comply with all the international standards. Therefore, the World Health Organization's endorsement for the vaccination is important before any vaccine can be imported or used in the country. The COVID-19 vaccine is currently in the clinical evaluation stage and may be approved for use soon. The Chinese ambassador to Fiji, Mr. Jian Bo, has assured Fiji that the vaccine is safe for use as it has been tested on millions of people. The technology used for the vaccine will make it easier for Fiji to roll out the vaccine, and it will also make it easier as it can be stored in a normal temperature. Ateda.
Thanks, Kritika. Serious allegations have been made against a prosecution witness in relation to the trial of a former senior executive of a publicly listed company who is charged with 3 counts of sexual assault. The first 2 counts are in relation to the first complainant, who alleges that the senior executive committed the 2 separate offences, one in June and the other in September 2019. The third count of indecent assault is in relation to the second complainant, who alleges that an offence was committed against her in May 2019. Pranita Prakash reports the trial that started yesterday is in relation to the second complainant.
The second complainant's ex-boyfriend took the stand in the Suva Magistrates Court today. He testified that on May 15, 2019, his ex-girlfriend was offered a job at the senior executive's company and he accompanied her to meet him in the evening. He said when his girlfriend came out from an office, 5 minutes later, she looked unhappy and frustrated. She had tears in her eyes and then told him that the senior executive allegedly hugged her, ran his hand on her back and kissed her. He said he didn't force his girlfriend to report the matter since it was her decision. The defense then asked why it took his ex-girlfriend 7 months to complain and whether a Facebook post alleging the incident had influenced her to lodge the complaint, to which the witness replied yes. The ex-boyfriend refused to answer several questions, following which the defense lawyer alleged the complainant and the prosecution witness met at a popular Suva shopping mall today and she had briefed him on the case. However, the prosecution witness denied this, saying they had no conversation in relation to the case today. The defense has indicated they will file a no case to answer submission tomorrow. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
There is an urgent need to review and modernize the construction planning scheme for Suva, as the current guidelines of 1979 has become archaic. Local Government Ministry Acting Permanent Secretary Shaheen Ali, while opening the workshop for development permit management in Suva today, says the archaic scheme has delayed the approval of building and construction permits. Josiah Nunga reports.
The review of the city planning scheme will commence in 2 months, and the Suva City Council will need to enlist construction experts.
The scheme for Suva also needs to evolve to the present demand and economic situations. We need to re-evaluate the zones against the changing needs and the pressures applied to the old boundaries.
Despite these challenges, Shaheen says the building and construction sector continues to thrive, boosting investor confidence. The council last year issued 393 permits compared to 278 given out in 2019.
It's vital that local authorities and all of you play a lead role in ensuring that these investments, the permits you hold, are actually shovel on the ground and the investments are realized.
Suva City Council Special Administrator Isikeli Tikundundua highlighted the need to modernize application and approval processes.
Make sure that the system and processes are well documented, timely, verifiable, and consistent.
This workshop will set a benchmark for other towns and cities in terms of developing permits. Josiah Nunga, FBC News.
Up ahead, $6.8 million worth of wood chip to be exported. An AMA reaches out to the Lau Group.
मैं तो दिल्ली में रहता हूँ और रेडियो फीजी रोज सुनता हूँ.
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन.
The biggest wood chip vessel to arrive in Fiji is currently loading wood chips in Wonolevu bound for China. This is the first of 6 shipments secured by Fiji Pine Group of companies for the Chinese market this year. Eleanor Turangaiviu reports.
Despite the downturn in businesses due to COVID-19, the pine industry has been working non-stop to meet our quota of wood chip for our Chinese markets.
2020, during the COVID restrictions, we managed to export a few boats to China and Japan, on the pine chips. These are we're just completing the schedule that we had from last year.
The latest vessel to arrive for another shipment of wood chip is now berthed at the Tropic Woods wood chip facility in Wairikimboa and loading between 60 to 65,000 tons of wood chips bound for China.
Usually the ones that have been coming before, it's usually on 30,000 or 25,000 tons. But I think it's due to the demand. This is our chance to take up that opportunity and supply chips to China.
Loading of the wood chips onto the vessel, which you can see is still happening here behind me, started on Thursday evening, and they have been loading at a rate of around 700 tons per hour. This shipment alone is worth $6.8 million.
We've got a series of conveys which we transfer our chips from our shipment to the boat. 5 conveys altogether. Conveyor number 1, conveyor number 5. Conveyor number 5 usually move inside the boat, where aligned at the center of the boat before we take on conveys following.
The loading of the wood chip is expected to be completed by this evening, and the ship is scheduled to leave our shores tomorrow morning. The next wood chip vessel is expected to berth here on the 24th of next month. Eleanor Turangaiviu, FBC News.
Prime Minister Warenge Bainimarama today reminded the youth that their passion is what the world needs to fight climate change threats. Speaking at the opening of the National Youth Climate Summit, Bainimarama highlighted that the activism and ideas of the youth will help find solutions to the problems being faced by vulnerable nations. Kritika Pratap has more.
The next 2 days will be vital for these youth as they will be looking at ways to protect our planet.
The National Youth Climate Action Summit, Pacific youth will set an example for the world, showing that young Fijians aren't just wonderful bystanders or helpers onlookers. When it comes to protecting our planet, you are agents of real change.
Fiji Youth Climate Change Ambassador Timothy Naulusala says the first ever summit is a great platform to exchange views.
This will also allow meaningful engagement and contribution from all my fellow friends here as we will develop self-sustainable action plans to implement in our respective communities.
Fiji is committed to achieving net zero carbon emission by 2050. A climate change bill is in the consultation process that will ensure that Fiji is accountable to achieving net zero carbon emission. Ritika Pratap, FBC News.
The Fiji Agro Marketing Authority has extended its reach to farming communities in the Lau Group. Chief Executive Alvin Sharma said after a recent feasibility study visit to Moala, there was growing interest from farmers wanting to commercialize their crops and fish stock. Kelly Vadala reports.
As part of its rural and maritime strategy, AME is serving the inaccessible and uneconomical farming communities.
It may be a small island, but it's hard to reach these villages. So we've done a feasibility study. We have found out what is available. The farmers know what we want, what grade we want. So we will now follow up with a buying trip.
AME teams visited Kandavu and Taviuni in recent weeks, but there is more planned engagements.
We are also planning a trip to Namuka area in Vanuatu. That's past Dongotuki and Madwata area in Vanuatu, where we wish to start buying fish from there.
Kandavu farmers say the trading has become easier and more convenient.
Going into commercial farming will be more easier for us as we will just sell our produce and stocks from here.
A lot of people have gone into farming.
and for people to help us with our sales saves our time and expenses.
To date, more than 600 farmers have been contracted with AMA. Fiji Agro Marketing aims to enhance the livelihoods of Fijians by improving commercial agriculture for Fijians in rural areas. Kelly Vathala, FBC News.
The Fijian Broadcasting Corporation today signed an agreement with the National Disability Awards, confirming their place as official radio partners. Speaking at the signing, United Blind Persons of Fiji Organizing Committee Chairperson Rajnil Prasad says this partnership will further promote the aim of the event, which is to recognize the contribution of persons with disability in society. FBC Radio Programs Manager Shami Lochan Lal says the media plays an important role in educating society on how to behave towards persons with disability. The 2020-2021 National Disability Awards will be held on March 27 at the FMF Gymnasium in Suva.
We're very proud to say that our radio stations are not only part of nation building, but building the lives of people and educating, like I said, the society on the respect our people, persons with disability deserve.
There has been a long wait due to the pandemic last year. So the event in 2020 was postponed, as we all know, due to the pandemic, and this year we all were excited to actually stage it.
We join Whitney now with business.
Thanks, Ateva. Coming up in business tonight, farmers urged to go commercial. A new bridge to assist Fijians. Stay with us.
Bula, ang gono ilutoka tutalita ka ng Bula FM bertini nambang 2 en seri.
Bula FM nambang 2 en seri.
The Ministry of Agriculture is calling on farmers to focus their efforts on commercializing their farms and operating them as a business. Minister Dr. Mahendra Reddy is urging farmers to grow produce on a large scale to meet the demands of the tourism and hospitality sector when borders reopen. Reddy also highlighted the importance of commitment to their farming ventures to meet the ever-increasing demands of the markets. The minister says while farming helps sustain people's livelihood, it is also a good business venture. The head America's top airlines are optimistic that the industry will soon recover as the COVID-19 vaccination program rolls on. The vaccine rollout has seen many people making online bookings, a positive sign for the industry. We now join Sharon from HFC Bank with the latest from the money market.
Good evening. The Reserve Bank of Australia has released the minutes of its March policy meeting today. They confirmed that monetary policy authorities are concerned about the employment sector and are determined to keep the easy money policy. The minutes also restated that the central bank is unlikely to raise target cash rate until wage growth is well above 3%, and that is unlikely to happen before 2024. Meanwhile, the US dollar was up for a third straight session ahead of the Federal Reserve's monetary policy meeting this week. Aside from the Fed, the Bank of England and the Bank of Japan are also set to meet this week, and all three are likely to set the tone on where global interest rates are headed. But in the meantime, those in the market will look forward to the US retail monthly numbers to be released later tonight. And that's all from your HFC Bank for now. Vinaka.
Here, the local exchange rates are set early this morning. The Fiji dollar held its own overnight, gaining on the US greenback, the Aussie dollar, the Kina, the euro, and the Japanese yen. However, it declined slightly versus the Chinese yuan and the Kiwi dollar. On the commodities market, oil prices fell by more than $1.50, still remaining above $64 a barrel. Gold rose to $1,730 per ounce, and silver was up slightly at $26.26 per ounce. Over 5,000 people in the Namata district, Maumi village and the settlements at Vusuya and Korodiri will benefit from the new Waindamu bridge. The old bridge had only one lane, which made it dangerous and inconvenient. Prime Minister Voreqe Bainimarama says nearly $4 million was spent to construct the bridge. He noted there are rebuilding infrastructures to be stronger and resilient. He adds, with resilient infrastructure, we are not just protecting ourselves from the threat of climate change, but also giving Fijians the kind of structures they need.
Public whose departed loved ones at Raralevu Cemetery will find it easier to make their visits.
the Water Authority of Fiji will have better access to Raralevu Reservoir. The police at the Busuya Raralevu Police Post will be able to respond to emergencies more quickly. The children who attend the two primary schools will be able to walk to school more safely.
And that's it from Business Tonight. We now join Kara with the latest in sports.
Good evening. Ahead in sports, Nasinu Secondary School continues dominance. And no card bonus system for Mari 7s. This and more coming up.
Hi, I'm Ini from Raki Raki. I love Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Namosi Secondary School has extended its lead in both the girls and boys Suva Zone 1 medal tally. This follows the conclusion of the 3,000 meters open events at the ANZ Stadium in Suva this afternoon. Namosi won the gold medals in both events. Aquila Dama with the story.
Royala Kalomera finished first in the girls' event today, just like she did in 2019. However, she made it to the Fiji finals but didn't get to run.
I came late in 2019 at the Coca-Cola Games. I was at this spot on my way to the track when the race started.
Kalomera posted a time of 12 minutes 22.16 seconds in the open girls 3,000 meters. Namosi Secondary won gold and bronze in the girls event, but it was a clean sweep in the boys division. Ioane Vianney claimed his second gold medal of the meet after winning the 1500 meters intermediate boys yesterday.
I think there's a lot more I have to do before the Coca-Cola Games. I need to do some extra training because the Fiji finals will be tough, especially in the 3,000 meters.
The Suva Zone 1 continues at the ANZ Stadium tomorrow, and you can watch the action live and exclusive on FBC Sports. Aquila Dama, FBC Sports.
2 new schools will be part of the Lautoka Zone this year. Participating for the first time are Yasawa North and Secondary Schools Moira Methodist College, who will be fielding more than 50 athletes. Meet manager Avinash Chan says it will be a 2-day competition to look forward to.
Lautoka Zone will be one of the biggest zones, 13 schools. This year we have 2 new schools joining us, Yasawa North and Moira Methodist College, which has been here for the first time. So they have started with the year 9 and they are also participating with 51 athletes.
The management of the 45th Fiji Beta Mari 7s have found a way to help improve discipline on the field and also assist our national side. As part of the tournament's Sapphire anniversary, organizers have incorporated elements that are of value to the management and our national 7s teams. This is why this year there will be no card bonus point system.
Discipline has been a worry not only for the Fiji 7 side but for local clubs as well, and there's one way to combat that at the Mari 7s.
We've created a card bonus. If a team plays without being issued a card, they get a bonus point for that, a card bonus point. So that will come into play before we work on the points difference. If you notice the HSBC tournaments, when teams are tied, it goes to points difference. We are stepping into looking at the cards bonus first.
He says it would not be right if what they are introducing doesn't help the teams, which includes a shadow national side that is going to take part.
We've incorporated things that are of value to the management of our main team, because it would not be right if we did something that would not be helping our main team. So number one, with cards, when cards are issued, it goes directly into competition points.
Participating teams will have to familiarize themselves with the new competition format this year.
Your managers will have to step up to ensure that they grasp the new format, but most importantly, understand the rules and regulations of this new tournament. It's been brought about to bring about more competition, but also at the same time provide each one an equal opportunity.
32 out of the 48 men's teams will be featuring for the first time. There are 18 youth and 8 women's teams that will be part of this year's event. Aquila FBC Sports.
The Rewa football side has had a slow start to the season, losing to Suva in the first round of the DGCL Premier League and finishing with a 1-1 draw against Lautoka last week. This has led the Delta Tigers coach Roddick Singh to reconsider changing his tactics for the next few games. Despite having a much experienced side compared to Lautoka, Rewa made a lot of silly mistakes which cost them the win.
It's just unforced errors. You see the first goal Lautoka scored is just from an unforced error, that shouldn't be occurring. So we'll just go back and try and address on the unforced errors.
Going up against Lambasa will not be easy, knowing that the Mbabasing Lions will have their fans' support.
We know Lambasa is a good team and they will also come up fighting in their home ground, so we will prepare accordingly and try and get the 3 points this time.
Lambasa has not forgotten the last time the two sides met, where Rewa thrashed them 4-0 during the Vodafone Fiji Fact.
Last year they came and they really thrashed us in our home game. But then I think they'll be coming out fighting. Rewa will be a very hard team to beat. Majority of the players from last year are there, and we know it will be a very tough game and for us. And Rewa, nothing can be taken away from them.
Lambasa will host Rewa on Saturday at 1:30 p.m. at Subrail Park. Carlini Tavi, FBC Sports. Now to the play of the day, we catch Crusaders winger Lester Whanganuku in action in their 25-15 comeback win in the Super Rugby Aotearoa. Whanganuku got them on the board with a spectacular diving finish after a David Havili break. That's it from Sports Tonight in New Media. The content you want to watch on your phone just before sleeping does affect sleeping patterns. This and more after the break.
We love Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In new media, many people are attached to their phones and can't go without using it even just before bed. A recent study has revealed that the type of content you watch on your phone before you sleep can affect your sleep patterns. And now we join Angie with the weather.
Hello to you and welcome to the Weather World. It's another day to be jolly. I know the weather is getting a bit cool, so let's just enjoy it but keep warm at the same time. More on, winds picked up speed and that's why we had minimal rain for the day. Let's quickly hop on to the Western Division. The weather was somewhat subtle. Eastwards from Peck Harbour to Suva, the system was little okay, I can say. The winds were pushing away the showers, but it will resume by evening. And up north, more showers are lining up for the night. At sea, southeast winds gusting from 15 to 20 knots, moderate to rough seas. Turning to the tides, high tide at 8:52 p.m. with low tide at 2:58 a.m. Sunrise at 6:09. For tomorrow, all these showers will pass by and give us sunny conditions. Looks good. Tomorrow's temps, all centers will be cool at 28 to 32 degrees. And looking further on to Thursday, more sunshine in the bag for us. So the things you couldn't do yesterday or today because of doughty weather, you could schedule it for Thursday. That's all the weather news from my end. You are fabulous, so have a fabulous evening.
Thanks, Angie. In Fijian Pulse, we ask, do you believe the proposed police bill should undergo some changes before it goes to Parliament?
I really believe so, and I strongly believe that we need to really provide some really strong policies.
Yes, it should undergo some changes, as a lot of people have been talking about it.
Relevant authorities need to make changes as soon as possible.
Yes, it should be reviewed. I think it's not best suited for the bill to be implemented now.
Recapping our main stories, concerns raised against proposed police bill, China donates SINOVAC vaccine, and former senior executive sexual assault trial continues. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station, Gold FM. To our poll question this week, we're asking, should Fiji kava exporters found mixing local and foreign kava have their license revoked? Visit our FBC website to answer. And on to our shot of the day. This photo of Suva City was taken by Rudy Wakamino, showcasing the beauty of our capital and its lights that illuminates the night. You can send us newsworthy pictures and videos by email to fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via our various social media accounts, including Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. That's your news for tonight. Until tomorrow, Madamanda.
Hi, I'm Asalika and I'm from Lotoka and I love Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Today's hit music on Today FM.